Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Happy Friday. Today we're going to be doing something a little bit interesting. A while back I said I was going to make some rivers and started making them. So I'm going to show you how I put this together today. I've never used resin or water effects like this. So it was kind of a learning experience. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so to get things started, I decided to use this. This is something that I found at Michael's. Every year they do kind of like holiday village kind of stuff. And this is one of the mats that's supposed to go underneath the village to kind of make it appear as though all the little houses are in like a cobblestoned area or like a paved road or something like that. But after the holiday is over, or as you get closer to the end of the holiday, a lot of the Christmas Village and Holiday Village stuff goes on sale. And this mat was 50% off, so that was really nice. Normally it was, I think the bag said $25, so got it for not a whole lot of money. It was just over like $12, $13. But you can see it's got this nice, neat little cobblestone texture. It is a repeating pattern, so you're going to have to keep that in mind. But this mat is huge. It is 18 inches wide by, I think it's like 3 foot long. So you get a huge, huge amount of pre-textured, it's like almost like a laminate or a heavy-duty plastic. So it is very, very usable. It covers a huge area and you can do a lot of stuff with this. So that's what we're going to be using. Now, as far as the rivers go, I want them to be a variation of the same kind of width overall, or at least width at the very ends. So I'm cutting this strip to a 5-inch width. And then we're going to trim it down into a couple of 6-inch long sections. Now off camera I cut a couple of others that are going to be about 4 inches wide. This is just so that I can, trim them into different shapes and stuff like that, so that I have a little bit of variation and they're not all just perfectly straight. And as you can see, this cuts really easily with just a straight edge and a utility knife. So it's a lot of fun to work with. It's pretty easy to work with as well, but it does have a tendency to curl. So that's a thing that I'm going to have to deal with. But now that everything's cut, let's go ahead and start shaping the riverbed. Now, I did lay this out for about an hour or so, and it did relax quite a bit, but it's still got a little bit of a curl to it. But that's not super huge deal or a big issue or anything like that. So I'm just going to use a pair of scissors and trim the 2 long edges into a couple of more interesting shapes. Now this one I did, I am using one that I have trimmed down to 4 inches in width, so it's going to be a roughly 15 to 20 foot wide river as far as gameplay goes. So now I'm using just a dollar store little cutting mat, and I'm going to glue the riverbed down with a little bit of hot glue. And here you can see me just kind of experimenting with, let's see, how can I raise up the edges of this? And that does work, just kind of piling the hot glue onto one side. But that uses a lot of hot glue, and I wanted this to be a little bit more readily buildable and a little bit cheaper, since hot glue can add up in its expense. So I took a piece of scrap, just foam board, and broke it up into irregular shaped little pieces. Then, using the hot glue, I just started gluing them down at random, and I'm going for a roughly 1/3 of an inch in height, just for the long edges. Now what that kind of equates to is I stacked roughly 2.5 to 3 little pieces of foam on top of each other in various places, just to create a raised area. Alright, and that looks pretty decent. Now, to protect the foam from the painting step, I'm going to cover everything in a thin layer of hot glue. This will do two things. It will harden the foam and protect it at the same time. And this will also kind of unify the overall smoothness of the riverbank here. So we won't have any of the jagged edges, but we will have a little bit of a rocky texture just by way of the glue kind of seeping into areas and just kind of letting gravity pull it down. So we're going to have a lot of irregular shapes so everything doesn't look uniform, and it's going to be solid and fairly rigid as well. Alright, so now that we've got the riverbanks done, let's go ahead and add some texture. Now, I glued a little stone just kind of right in the middle because I kind of like the idea of, the river having a stone in the middle of it. And then using a few of these aquarium rocks, I'm just going to attach a few here or there just to kind of add a little bit of extra texture. But my garage was very, very cold, so the hot glue started drying a lot faster, and it became a little bit of an interesting task to hot glue any of these stones down. Even when I was able to tack them down, they kind of kept breaking loose in various places. You could super glue these down or use something like wood glue or PVA that would hold them down a little bit easier in these situations, but it wouldn't be as fast. So I should have used super glue, but here I am just kind of continuously trying to hot glue them in place and hoping that they'll actually stick. Now, using a little bit of wood glue, I'm going to paint a thin layer over both of the riverbed banks and just kind of do a fairly saturated coating. Now, like I said, I'm going a thin coat, but I want total coverage. I want everything of the riverbank to be coated on both sides. And we're also going to add a little bit in the riverbed just for a little bit of texture variation. I like the cobblestones, but I don't want a whole lot of cobblestones being visible throughout the bottom of the riverbank. Then I covered everything with some sand and let it to dry. Now, here you can see I ran into a couple issues where the sand didn't quite fully absorb the glue and the glue was still wet. So I did a second coating and then let it set for about 2 hours to fully dry. Once I was sure everything was held in place, I just tapped off all of the excess sand onto a different cutting board so that it didn't get all over my workbench. And you can see we've got a few little exposed areas where the hot glue was, but I'm not going to do anything about that because I like the extra texture variants that they provide. So now I'm going to have to remove the river from the cutting mat. And I tried doing that with this little plastic spreader tool, and it didn't work, just wasn't rigid enough, so I switched to a metal one. And it was a little bit of a chore trying to get the hot glue to release from the cutting mat. And it was at this moment that I realized there are two sides to the cutting mat. One has a kind of a textured area, and the other side is perfectly flat and smooth. So in the future, when I do this, I'm going to be using the smooth side because that will allow the glue to release a little bit easier. And now it's time to start painting our river. So I took the riverbed out into the yard and gave it a primer coating in Krylon Flat Brown spray paint. It's basically just a spray paint that's raw umber. Then using some burnt umber, I painted just the riverbed and some of the insides of the river banks. Now, I wanted this to kind of be like the impression of like a muddy ground or just kind of a wet or damp section of the river. Once that dried, I gave the whole piece a little bit of a dry brushing with some raw sienna. Now, You won't be able to see it super clear until the paint dries, but there is a slight color difference between the river bed and the outside of the river banks, just from the dry brushing. So we do achieve a nice little slight color difference between the two areas, and that will help kind of sell the imagery and illusion of a deeper riverbed, or however it is that you want to explain the depth of the river. The color difference will help with that. Next, using a little bit of gray from Artist Loft, I painted over all of the stones that we had glued down. And once those were done, I decided to highlight all of the exposed cobblestones, just in a simple layer of gray, just to kind of solidify that the bottom of the riverbed is a bunch of little stones. And I think this adds a nice little bit of extra color and contrast for the rest of the piece. And once that was dried, I grabbed some neutral gray and I do a simple dry brushing over the tops and sides of all the stones. And when it comes to the cobblestones on the bottom, I just kind of lightly stipple on some of the neutral gray just to give a little bit of that color highlight. Now, using a little bit of warm gray from Master's Touch, I go over all of the sandy areas of the river. Now you can see the very nice highlight that this gives to all of the raised areas of the riverbed as well as the riverbank. And I really like how this is starting to shape up and turn out. Just the amount of detail that the hot glue and foam was able to put in and how quickly that was able to set up is really nice for this application. And you can absolutely make the riverbanks taller or more jagged or steeper, just depends on how you want to lay down the foam. Now I'm going to try and tinge the riverbed itself with a little bit of cerulean blue. Now I'm trying to do a fairly light dry brush, but I'm focusing almost exclusively on the very bottom of the river, so anything that would be flat. And I'm trying to avoid a whole lot of the riverbank, and I'm only barely touching the sides of the stones. Now, if I do this right, it should add a little bit of color to the river once we add in our water effect. And speaking of water effect, it's time to start adding some. Now, first thing I had to do was prep the edges because the two short sides were a little bit jagged from the glue and the foam. So I just used a utility blade and trimmed off the edges just to make sure everything was nice and flat. And once that was done, I took a couple of strips of plastic and just hot glued them pretty quickly onto the ends after tacking the riverbed down onto the cutting mat again. And this is going to create two dams on either side of the riverbed to prevent our water effects from leaking out. Now I decided I wanted a little bit of extra color, so using some hot glue and a little bit of my homemade flocking, I just added a little bit of greenery in a couple of different places, almost as if the river had grown a little bit of moss or something like that down at the bottom. Now, I had a couple of these little resin fish, and I decided to put them into the river just to kind of give a little bit of extra life to it. Now, I didn't want them to be sitting perfectly on the bottom, so I made a couple of small little beads of hot glue and glued those down with a bit of super glue, and then glued the fish directly on top of them. This doesn't raise them up a ton, but it raises them up just enough for a little bit of an extra visual. And now it's time to add our water. Now, I could not get a hold of any water effects from like Vallejo or Green Stuff World, so I'm going to use this. This is a UV curing clear resin. I have used it before in a couple of other things. I made these little fish with it, but I wanted to use it here just because I know how clear it stays, and the fact that it cures with a UV light is going to make this happen a lot faster than if I had just poured resin and then let it set for a couple of days to fully cure. Now, once I had the river to the level that I wanted, I took it and put it under a UV lamp for about 10 minutes, and here we have a nice solid riverbed, and we can just pull off the dams on either side, and we have a nice modular river perfect for tabletop games. Alright, so here we have the finished piece. I like how it came out. The blue dry brush didn't quite give me the coloration that I was hoping it would, but that's okay. So overall we have a roughly 4-inch wide section. The actual river itself is about 3 inches. So gameplay wise, we can call it a 15-foot wide river with a little bit of raised area on either side. I'm planning on making a bunch of these in different configurations. This one is, like I said, 4 inches wide. I'm going to make a couple that are about 3 inches wide just to add a little bit of variance. I'll make a couple of transition pieces that will link one this size to one that's smaller, or maybe one this size to one that's bigger if I want like a really large river. I've got a bunch of the holiday cobblestone mat left, so I have plenty to work with. I am going to have a lot of fun putting these together, and when I do, we can work on a couple of better woodland scenes to kind of have these displayed and use them for some gameplay. I also need to figure out how I want to add the bridges from our sewer system to be able to be used with this, because I don't think they're going to fit across the river at this length. But that's something that we can explore in another video, because this video is over. So thank you everyone for watching. Please hit that like button, subscribe for future content, comment down in the comments section. Would love to hear your opinion on stuff, and we will see everyone next episode.